This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me up above on the screen at Backup Bradley on Twitter and everything that we are talking about here. Okay, we're going to cover a couple quick things, and then we're going to get into what I believe is the most definitive review of XRP and its security status to date. And you will be awful surprised at who that is that's doing it. Before we get there, let's look at this. Ripple named in CNBC's prestigious Disruptor 50 list for the first time ever. They are listed at number 28, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I know for a fact that they are the only blockchain infrastructure technology company listed on that list of 50. I have to say, with that, I did check again this morning, and we're not seeing any S1 filing yet posted by Ripple, so we will keep an eye on that. But shout out to Ripple and all their success for getting the nods. But this is the kind of thing that starts to come out in news that really gives me that feeling that, okay, maybe we are close to maybe that IPO filing. So, you know, it's still speculation, but it is certainly something we want to keep an eye on. This is the kind of thing that, you know, really sets the stage for such an announcement. I certainly believe so, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. Okay, now moving to a Supreme Court computer fraud ruling from back in, I forget what year it was 19 something. However, basically what this computer ruling was for the Supreme Court is to establish whether or not it is a federal offense to invade and break into someone else's computer system. Now, I think this will be fantastic if they do this. So we will keep you posted on this. And shout out to Greg Kidd, who was the original poster of this article and believes that it could have a huge impact on blockchain technology and cryptocurrency going forward in the future. So we will definitely keep an eye on this ruling and see what happens. From 1986 Computer Fraud Abuse Act case, which basically was a policeman in Georgia, and he used his ability as a police officer to access the police system to look up someone else's information not related to a case, taking advantage of his abuse of power. So they did try and file again, or they did trial and find him guilty. And he had to serve a sentence, and I'm not sure I can't remember what the sentence was now, but the reality is that they could be stepping this idea of going into other people's computers or private systems and using those inappropriately as a federal offense. Now, to me, I don't see that as a bad idea. I think that's actually something that needs to be pursued. So hopefully we'll definitely keep you abreast of what happens there. Now, here is the Digital Dollar Project. Now, we know that this is head up by the Giancarlo brothers. Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman, right? And his brother and others. Very, very smart men. These guys have done an amazing job so far with the Digital Dollar Project, the white paper. Great respect for their insight and perspective on this cryptocurrency world and the digital dollar world. Well, let me tell you something. We are about to get into an article here, and it is a read, and I'm going to read it to you. But I'm going to read it to you because it is the most definitive speak I have ever heard, an analysis on the status of whether XRP is or is not a security. And it is by Chris Giancarlo and Conrad Bauke from Wilkie Fair and Gallagher discuss Ripple and the application of U.S. security laws to XRP. Now, this is the former head of the CFTC, okay? And he is getting ready to break this down chapter and verse for you, and it is pretty remarkable. Now, let me move through this as quickly as I can. Over the past decade, cryptocurrency has evolved from anonymous white papers circulating among a small group of cryptography enthusiasts into several $100 billion industry. As public interest in cryptocurrency has grown, so too has the attention of lawmakers and regulators, with limited congressional direction thus far. State and federal regulators are faced with the daunting task of navigating through the complex legal and policy issues posed by this novel technology, including fundamental questions of jurisdiction, applicability, and the appropriateness of existing regulatory framework. Prominent among federal cryptocurrency regulators is the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, which has been active in the space for recent years as the flood of retail investors in the cryptocurrency market and proliferates of the initial coin offering ICOs have prompted concerns of fraud, market manipulation, and a lack of prudential oversight. While other agencies have asserted overlapping jurisdiction claims, the SEC has taken the position that some cryptocurrencies are securities and thus fall within the regulatory purview. However, the SEC has prudently recognized that the application of securities law to cryptocurrencies may not be warranted in every instance. Senior SEC officials have made public statements that Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, are not securities. Although it would be unreasonable to expect the SEC to weigh in on each of the over 5,500 cryptocurrencies in circulation, noticeably absent from the agency's comments on regulatory status of Bitcoin and Ether is any mention of XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency. Now, we're about to jump down into this, and this is going to be remarkable. I'm telling you, wait till you hear their findings. This is pretty incredible. Much like Bitcoin and Ether, Ethereum is a digital currency supported by a distributed ledger that uses cryptography to store or transfer assets. However, XRP and the underlying XRP ledger were designed in 2011-2012 specifically as a payment mechanism by software developers who later founded Ripple Labs. Ripple today utilizes XRP to address liquidity challenges faced by financial institutions, including high transaction fees, long processing times, and the need for third-party monitoring interposed by traditional clearinghouses and settlement mechanisms. What sets XRP apart from its peers is the XRP ledger. I'm going to tell you something. We've been saying this, and that is absolutely the truth. Listen to what he says. Unlike the blockchain protocols that support many other popular cryptocurrencies, the XRP ledger does not reward network participants for validating transactions on the ledger with coins, a process known as mining. In the absence of mining, XRP cannot be generated by a third party. Instead, a finite supply of XRP 100 billion units was created at the time of inception, slightly more than 50% of which is currently held in escrow by Ripple and sold periodically. While these differences enable XRP to better serve its intended purpose as a liquidity tool and settlement mechanism, they do not fundamentally set XRP apart from its peers from a legal and regulatory perspective. Now listen to what they do and break each section of this down. This is extremely important, and I know that I'm going to read all of this, but I'm going to tell you what, it is absolutely worth the read. It is the most definitive explanation of where we are with XRP using the Howey Test. XRP is not an investment contract. The SEC is taking the position that certain cryptocurrencies are investment contracts within the definition of security under the Securities Act of 1933. The Howey Test, the Supreme Court held that the investment contracts exist where there is a contract, transaction, or scheme whereby a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profit solely from the efforts of the promoter, sponsor, or other third party. In addition, while not dispositive from legal perspective, the SEC has issued guidance building upon the Howey framework in the context of digital assets. Citing certain factors that our agency will consider in determining whether there is a common enterprise and reasonable expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others. Even if XRP were to satisfy one or two of the prong of the Howey Test, it does not satisfy all factors such that XRP is an investment contract subject to regulation as a security. No investment of money. The first prong of the Howey Test, an investment of money, has received little attention. This is unfortunate because it has particular relevance. The Supreme Court chose the specific word investment over alternatives such as expenditure. While one could argue that many outlays of money constitute an investment, the common understanding of the term investment is the transfer of something of value in exchange for a future return rather than a present one. Yet XRP cannot be an investment contract, as there is no contract or arrangement to speak of between Ripple and the overwhelming majority of XRP holders. To the contrary, the contracts that Ripple has entered into explicitly exclude general XRP holders as a third-party beneficiary. This is one of the greatest reasons why XRP price is where it is and Ripple's success and the fundamental news is where it is. Let's keep going. The mere fact an individual holds XRP does not create any relationship, rights, or privilege with respect to Ripple. While the Supreme Court has never held that investment contracts requires a formal agreement, case law and economic reality of these transactions do not support the assertion that there is somehow a contractual or other relationship between Ripple and members of the general public that acquire XRP on the secondary market. The mere fact that an individual holds XRP does not create any relationship, rights, or privileges with respect to Ripple any more than owning Ether could create a contract with Ether Foundation or Ethereum Foundation, the organization that oversees the Ethereum architecture. However, even if a relationship were to exist between XRP holders and Ripple and the purchase of XRP were to constitute an investment, XRP still cannot be considered an investment contract as it does not satisfy the remaining prongs of the Howey Test. No common enterprise. In determining whether there is a common enterprise under the Howey Test, federal courts have required there be a horizontal and vertical commonality between the parties. Horizontal commonality focuses on the relationships between investors in an economic venture. Courts have found such commonality where there is a tying of each individual investor's fortune to the fortunes of other investors through the pooling of assets. This is important. Usually combined with a pro rata distribution of profit. No horizontal commonality exists with respect to XRP, either among third-party XRP holders or between XRP holders and Ripple. Through broad price fluctuations uniformly affect those who hold XRP, the currency is not pooled in any sense, much less by Ripple or another central party. Further are discussed above, ownership of XRP does not purport to give the holders any rights with respect to Ripple, and a holder of XRP is not entitled to share in the profits and losses of Ripple. The same is true to individual XRP holders, none of whom are in privity by mere ownership of XRP, any more than two people who hold Bitcoin or Ether can be said to have tied their fortunes to one another. To the contrary, given the juxtaposition between XRP's intended use as a liquidity tool, it is more general use to transfer value and its potential as a speculative asset. XRP holders who utilize the coins for different purposes have divergent interests with respect to XRP. Now listen to this section here. Vertical commonality explains the relationship between the investor and the promoter. While circuit courts are split between broad, narrow approaches, vertical commonality generally requires the fortunes of the investors to be linked with those of the success of the promoter. Under either approach, there is no vertical commonality because XRP and Ripple exist independently of one another, such that, listen to this, the XRP ledger would continue to function even without Ripple's involvement. Unlike equities or other traditional securities, they go down with the ship when the company goes down. XRP does not represent an interest in Ripple, and performance of Ripple has no bearing on the price of XRP. Again, highlighting Ripple's success and fundamental achievements that we report on every single day are not yet comparative in price measurement to XRP because it is the asset. The blockchain infrastructure company's success has been with the software deployment. The XRP use will come later, and that's why the price does not pace the company's success. Okay, let's keep it going. This separation can be observed in the price of XRP, which historically has been unresponsive to Ripple developments and instead generally has tracked broad movement of other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. If there is neither horizontal nor vertical commonality, XRP cannot be a common enterprise and therefore cannot be a security under the Howey test. You just got the reason why the price is 19 cents. Period. You just got it. I've been saying it. I said it even as recently as yesterday. The price is where the price is because the company needs to IPO first, I believe, or at least get into the process of that before we can see this price really move. Otherwise, parties could come out in a class action and certainly argue the vertical and horizontal commonality between price reflection of the company's success versus the asset pacing it. This, don't believe me when I say it, but you might want to listen to Giancarlo when he says it. The third and fourth prongs of the Howey test, a reasonable expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others, are also absent, giving Ripple's marketing forbearance and the autonomy of XRP architecture. The expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others must be reasonable. Ripple has not marketed XRP as an investment product, nor has it promised XRP holders any sort of return on investment. To the contrary, Ripple has repeatedly emphasized the functionality of XRP as a liquidity tool and a settlement mechanism. The fact that certain parties may acquire XRP with the hope that it may appreciate in value cannot be dispositive, as the same is equally true of the large number of Bitcoin and Ether speculators. In non-binding guidance aimed primarily at ICOs, the SEC has suggested that the two main areas of focus when determining whether there is reliance on the efforts of others are expectations of investors, and whether the efforts of promoter are essential managerial efforts which affect the failure or success of the enterprise. With respect to XRP, purchasers cannot reasonably rely on the efforts of Ripple, as the XRP architecture is fully autonomous and exists entirely independently of Ripple. Were Ripple to cease its involvement in XRP entirely, the XRP ledger would still function through third-party validators, and XRP would continue to trade freely on exchanges. The market participants recognize the separation between XRP and Ripple is evidenced by the fact that the price of XRP is generally unresponsive to developments regarding Ripple. Boom. There it is right there. Instead follows the movement of other cryptocurrencies through Ripple, maintains a sizable stack of XRP supply, and certainly has a pecuniary interest in the value of its holdings, and it is not enough to suggest that the mutual interest in the value of an asset give rise to an expectation of profits as contemplated by the Howey. Moreover, most of Ripple's XRP is held in escrow. Ripple's ability to access XRP holdings is restricted. Programmatic limitations and the amount of XRP that may be released escrow on each month. In light of Ripple not marketing XRP as an investment and the autonomy and relative immutability of the XRP ledger, there is no reasonable basis for purchasers except profits derived from the efforts of Ripple, and thus XRP does not meet each of the prongs of the Howey test. XRP sufficiently decentralized to avoid regulation as a security. Let's go through this. This is almost over, so hang in there. And this is absolute fire. Think about the timing of this article and the credibility and the weight of who is writing it. The timing of this article and the credibility of who wrote it. It's happening now, and Giancarlo is a part of writing this article. Working on the digital dollar project also. I'm smelling an IPO coming, and they want to clear the way because this is absolutely definitive here. And is definitive from a very, very high integrity, a man of higher integrity and stature in the community. All right, let's keep going here. SEC provides Corporate Finance Director William Hinman opined that a digital asset status security may be subject to change over time if the network on which token or coin is to function becomes sufficiently decentralized, a sentiment reflected in the subsequently released digital asset guidance consistent with statement of the SEC officials. Director Hinman named Bitcoin and Ethereum as examples of cryptocurrency that were and had become sufficiently decentralized networks, such as regulating the tokens or coins and function of them on securities may not be required. If Bitcoin and Ethereum are sufficiently decentralized, the case for decentralization of XRP is even stronger. While decentralization is an inherently difficult concept to quantify, Director Hinman cited a number of factors that the SEC may consider in making this determination, including several analogous to the Howey elements already discussed above. Even though Ripple holds a large stake of XRP in escrow and funds its operations through a sale of XRP, it is no different than Bitcoin miners selling mined tokens. I mean, they're answering every single aspect of this situation right here for clarity. They are bringing clarity to this asset right now. Ask yourself, why now? Why not next week? This is all right here, and there's not much more. Let's go ahead and get down to this. This is a section you're going to really want here. Utility token for liquidity. In recent years, the SEC has begun to explore the concept of utility tokens, digital assets that represent a right to a product or service offered by the issuer in certain circumstances. The agency has taken the view that utility tokens do not represent an investment contract and has allowed ICOs of utility tokens to proceed without registration under the Securities Act. Listen to this. While the SEC has limited formal guidance on the distinction between utility token offerings and other ICOs, two no-action letters in 2019 offered valuable insight into the agency's analysis. In concluding that utility tokens were not securities, the SEC cited that the following factors in both no-action letters: the network, the platform, the applications on which the tokens exist were fully developed and operational at the time of issuance, and funds from the sale of tokens would not be used for development of the foregoing. The tokens were immediately usable at the time of sale. The tokens were restricted to the network and could not be transferred to external wallets. The value of the token was fixed at a predetermined rate and represented by correspondent obligations by the issuer or other parties in the platform provide services in the value of such amount. Tokens could only be repurchased by the issuer at face value, and the tokens were marketed in a manner that emphasized their functionality and not the potential for appreciation in value. In addition, the no-action letter issued to Pocketful of Quarters specifically noted that the service providers were subject to initial and ongoing anti-money laundering and know-your-customer checks, that service providers were able to liquidate the tokens for predetermined exchange rate. XRP, given its intended purpose as a liquidity and settlement tool for financial institutions, could be considered a utility token with respect to the specific use of XRP for Ripple's on-demand liquidity. ODL enables banks, financial institutions, and payment providers to utilize XRP as a bridge asset for fiat transactions by providing near instantaneous liquidity instead of transacting through a currency exchange, clearinghouse, or other financial intermediary. The sender converts the payment into XRP and transfers the XRP across the ledger to the receiver, who can liquidate the XRP on an exchange for a local currency. While XRP utilized for ODL is not entirely analogous to the utility tokens for which the SEC has previously issued no-action letters, namely, XRP is neither restricted to the ODL platform nor inherently fixed to a set price. Most factors are present. Both the network XRP ledger and the platform ODL are currently fully functional and developed such that Ripple does not need to use the sale of XRP for further development, and accordingly, the tokens XRP are immediately usable at this time of acquisition. Throughout the transaction, the value of XRP is essentially fixed, though it is possible that there may be price fluctuations during the few seconds that it takes for the transaction to complete. Ripple has also marketed XRP with the respect of ODL in a manner that emphasizes its functionality, secure near instantaneously liquidity without the transaction fee or delays imposed by traditional financial intermediaries, and has not marketed XRP as an asset that may appreciate in value, though the latter half of this factor is moot given the limited time during which the counterparties hold XRP by design. Finally, with respect to AML KYC considerations, XRP2, the subsidiary through which XRP conducts its sales of XRP, is registered with FinCEN. Now, we've been over this. 2015, FinCEN gave them a letter that allowed them to continue the sale of XRP after fining them. Never forget that one. And operates a robust AML, KYC, OFAC compliance program. In addition, Ripple also conducts due diligence on its customers. The strong evidence that is specific use of XRP for ODL constitute utility token, and the capacity should not be subject to regulation as a security. These are the writings of Giancarlo and the other gentleman from the law firm that they're at, the former head of the Commodities Futures Trade Commission. In any event, there is limited cause for concern given that Ripple's ODL customers are themselves regulated financial institutions, and further diligence will be performed either by the exchanges on which XRP is converted into fiat currency or by the banks to which the resulting funds are transferred. By the banks. Banks will use it. Even Giancarlo believes it. The fungibility of XRP used for ODL and XRP used for the other purposes distinguishes XRP from other digital assets that the SEC has deemed to be utility tokens. But the brief timing during which ODL counterparties hold XRP must be taken into consideration. Now, we've talked about this a lot. The liability issue when it is on the XRP ledger and the value is in the token between sender A and sender B. Something has to be legally set as precedent here. And that's what they're referencing. Okay. As discussed above, XRP fundamentally falls outside of the definition of an investment contract under the Howey Test. Moreover, there's strong evidence that the specific use of XRP ODL constitutes a utility token, and in this capacity should not be subject to regulation as a security. If not a security, then what? Ultimately, under a fair application of the Howey Test and the SEC's presently expanding analysis, XRP should not be regulated as a security, but instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange consistent with interpretations offered by federal regulators. As the SEC chairman noted, certain cryptocurrencies are a replacement for sovereign currencies. Replace the dollar, euro, the yen with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. This is no less true for XRP as it is for Bitcoin or Ether, which the SEC has explicitly stated fall outside the definition of a security. The increased adoption of XRP as a medium of exchange and a form of payment in recent years, both by consumers and in the business-to-business setting, further underscores the utility of XRP as a bona fide fiat substitute. Come on in. Leave your comments below. This is not just you and I having this conversation. This is Giancarlo and Conrad Bauke from Wilkie Farr and Gallagher law firm. And this is remarkable. The same guy heading up the Digital Dollar Project, laying it down. Leave your comments below, like and share. Make sure you share this with somebody you know. We'll catch you guys on the next one.